Now this video is a fun one. This is for all my old people. My 60-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 7-year-olds. Can I get a hand raise in the comment section if you're 50 or older? This video is for you, my whippersnappers. So I have purchased for 76 bucks the Yamaha HTR 5730 receiver, and here's why I did this, and here's why it's for all my grandpas and grandmas out there. So I hear a lot of times in the comment sections when it comes to this new age gear, the new 2022, 2023 gear, whatever, right? I always hear in the comment section that, oh, they don't make them like they used to. My old 20-year-old this, that, and the other sounds better, blah, 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 blah. Or I still have my old this, that, and the other that's still kicking, right? Well, I'm only 28, and so my oldest receiver that I've ever had was only about 12 years old today. So I actually went out and purchased my first receiver that I ever had. Well, it was similar to, this is not the exact model, but it's in the same lineup of that year model from Yamaha. And this is, again, the 5730. It's a 5.1 channel receiver, has no HDMIs, has no calibration. This one in particular didn't have any kind of remote with it. It comes with a remote, but this particular one that I bought doesn't have a remote. It comes with 100 watts of amplification to each channel. We know how that works. But one of the things about power is they say that power ratings were more honest back in the day. You got more of a true wattage rating back in the day versus now. So I bought one of these things, and I'm going to put old school with new school. How does these older receivers pair with newer technology like the KEF R11s that I have here? So this video is for the old guys out there who's been around home theater for a while. And we're going to put it into my system and see how did it sound back in the day. Does it sound better than what we get today? I'm probably going to do a spinning 2-week series on this, so we'll see what happens. But let me introduce you guys to the Yamaha HTR 5730. So this is the Yamaha HTR 5730. Again, a 5-channel receiver powering 100 watts each channel, and then there is one single subwoofer output on this as well. Now this is so dated that there are no HDMIs on the back of this, so I'm not going to be able to plug up my Fire Stick or something like this to this particular unit. So I'm going to have to be creative on how I utilize this in my home theater. There's no audio return channel or eARC, none of that stuff exists. And even get this, these are the type of sound decoders you have. You don't have Dolby Atmos and DTS:X in this, but here's what you do have. Dolby Pro Logic 2, Dolby Digital plus Matrix 6.1, DTS Matrix 6.1, and then you have your Yamaha DSPs because they've been doing that forever. So you don't have your even Pro Logic Z with the height channels. You don't even have that in this particular unit. So we're going to throw it back a very far time, almost ancient times to a lot of you guys. Some of my younger audience out here probably has never even heard of any of those types of decodings or seen anything like this. Now, I have not turned this on yet. I have simply plugged this thing up just before pressing record, but I haven't actually fired this up at all to even know if it works like it said it does. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that power button. Yeah, we got lights. Let's see, there you go, there's my relays. So we have some clicks. So this is actually in really good condition. There's a couple dings around it, but I mean, this is over 12 years old. And it has that old Yamaha style, which is actually funny to look at because it's a different color as far as the font color goes that they use in today's times, but it still looks like the same type of font. And it still has that same type of layout that Yamaha used in like the RX 3080 or the whatever they're called. I can't remember, RV, I don't remember what they were. But they look pretty similar with the LCD screen as they do in today's times. Here's all your buttons here on the front. We have things like preset and tuning, FM, AM, A, B, C, D, E. You have speaker switching in this, presets, memory, tuning mode, all sorts of stuff. We can change our input mode. We can program. You have bass and treble knobs on the front. What's really cool about this one, it has the A/B speaker off, so I can have a speaker A, listen to that, switch to speaker B, listen to that. So that might be cool for testing some speakers here in the future. A big old headphone output here. We still have that in today's time as well. So, in a giant volume knob, which actually we still have that today too on the Yamaha, pretty much on almost every receiver nowadays still has a giant volume knob, especially Yamahas. Let's zoom in here so you guys can get a closer look at the lovely silver chassis. You don't see many silver receivers anymore. If you do, it's usually from the European side, like the Yamaha and some Marantz ones. Denon has some silver receivers, but they don't usually sell here in America. So, no badges on the top. There's no DTS:X, there's no Dolby Atmos, there's no Bluetooth or Roon or calibration. None of that exists with this unit here. This is just a pure 5-channel receiver. So here's the back side of it, and a lot of the younger guys aren't going to know what they're looking at. These are legacy connections. These are your RCAs for all of your inputs and outputs, like audio for your DVD player, your cable box, your VAUX. That was something like a VCR back in the day. Your subwoofer out here, you have some 6-channel input. So if you have a Blu-ray player that you can feed audio to, you can use that to set up your sound here. We have digital input coaxial for CD. I mean, this is a lot of old school stuff. The only speakers that use physical twist terminals or the banana plugs are the front left and right speakers, which are also labeled as speaker A. Now you can put these here as speaker B. These are also front terminals here on the spring terminal. So speaker A is just 2-channel, and then speaker B here is in like maybe your 5-channel setup. So you can have 7 speakers in total hooked up to this, but it'll only power 5 at a time. So speaker A could be like a stereo setup. So I could use like some bookshelf 2-channel listening, and then I can have my whole home theater plugged up to these channels here. So like I said, it's only a 5-channel setup. So we're gonna have left and right, center, and surrounds. No Atmos or nothing like that. And then I have 3 subwoofers. We're only gonna be able to utilize 1, or I can get 3 splitters and split it, but I'm not gonna make that effort. I'm probably not gonna try to do that. I'll probably just use my best subwoofer and place it up front to get a good sound stage. But this is what we're working with probably for the next 2 weeks. I'm going to listen to this thing and see just how different the sound is between 12 years ago and today. So if you're not familiar with my series called Spending 2 Weeks, Spending 2 Weeks is I have a playlist that I'll link down below, but it's 2 weeks where I spend time with certain things. So for example, I spent 2 weeks with an old Bose system. I spent 2 weeks with a Sony system, spending 2 weeks with a Clip system. So that series takes the normal home theater and gets rid of it, and we try something out of the norm, right? So in this case, the Yamaha receiver. So I'm gonna do a series called Spending 2 Weeks with an Old Yamaha Receiver. And I'm gonna go through different tests, watching movies, listening to music, watching casual TV, how is the power, things like that. It's gonna be a really tough experiment because I can't use my amplifiers. I can't use my Atmos speakers. I only can use 1 sub. So it's going to be a whole different experience for me. But I think it's going to be pretty fun. So this is just for laughs and giggles. I bought this for $76. So it's just for fun. I didn't really mean that you guys were old. Some of y'all are though. But I didn't really mean that you guys were old. I'm just messing around. But I think this will be a really fun series because, hey, having all this nice equipment, what happens when it's gone? Like, what is it like when you lived with home theater for years and years and years, and you kind of go backwards? How does that feel, right? So we're gonna do that experiment here in the next coming weeks. So I'm down for it. If you're down for it, leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think my reaction is going to be at the end of the 2 weeks. Do you think I'm gonna like the experience? Do you think I'm gonna be more impressed than not? Do you think I'm gonna hate it? What do you think I'm gonna think towards the end of this 2 weeks? Will I be miserable? Will it be a fun experience? Let me know that down below in the comment section. Hit that like button and definitely subscribe to stay tuned for this series because it's gonna be fun. We will see you guys. Wait! Before we say bye, leave me also in a comment down below, what is the oldest receiver that you've had in your home theater? You might be showing your age. I'm sorry, you might be showing your age, but if you can remember the model number and the brand, tell me what is the oldest receiver you ever had in your system, and tell me what you're using now. Let's see how much of a difference what kind of journey you've gone on in the last few years. Leave that also down below in the comment section. Now hit that like button. Now hit that subscribe button if you're not already. And now we will see you in the next video. Kpaceguy out. Peace.
Say I lost my mind. I will keep on holding my head high, even if the sky is falling down.